We live in a world that celebrates constant availability, answering every call, responding to every text, showing up for everyone at all times, as if being perpetually accessible defines our worth. But what if the very thing we've been taught to value is quietly draining the life out of us? Carl Jung once said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Yet so many of us lose ourselves in the noise of endless obligations. We wear a mask. Jung called it the persona, a socially acceptable identity we create to be loved, to be accepted, to feel safe. And that persona often tells us to be available no matter what, even when it costs us our peace, even when it fractures our soul. Think about it. How often have you said yes when every fiber of your being screamed no? How many times have you sacrificed your own needs just to keep the peace, to avoid guilt, to maintain an image? Availability becomes our currency for validation, but it's a currency that leaves us emotionally bankrupt. Jung's work reminds us that beneath this persona, there is a shadow, a hidden part of us that contains the anger, the exhaustion, the resentment we dare not express. And the more we ignore it, the more it grows. When you are always available, you silence your true self. You suppress your needs, your dreams, your emotions, until one day they come roaring back in ways you can no longer control. Anxiety, burnout, depression, anger toward those you once tried so hard to please. But the truth is, no one else is responsible for protecting your soul. Only you are. When you stop being endlessly available, something extraordinary happens. You start reclaiming pieces of yourself that you thought were lost. You learn that real respect comes not from how much you sacrifice for others, but from how firmly you honor your own boundaries. Healthy people respect the word no. Unhealthy people don't. And that's how you know who belongs in your life and who doesn't. It's not your job to manage everyone else's happiness at the expense of your own. Your worth is not measured by your usefulness to others. It's measured by your existence, by your being. You are enough, even when you are silent, even when you say no, even when you step back. When you stop being available to everyone, you start being available to yourself. You hear the quiet whispers of your own soul. You find the courage to sit with your discomfort, to face your fears, to meet the parts of yourself that you once abandoned. You begin the beautiful and terrifying journey of individuation, the path Jung spoke of, where you integrate the persona, the shadow, and the true self into a more whole, authentic being. It's not an easy path. People will misunderstand you. Some will accuse you of being selfish, cold, distant. Let them. Their perception is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to stay loyal to your soul, to nurture your inner well so that you have something real to offer the world. Not from a place of depletion, but from a place of abundance. You will notice that your relationships change. Some connections will fall away, and as painful as that is, it's necessary. The ones who love you for who you are, not for what you provide, will remain. And new, healthier relationships will take root. Relationships built on mutual respect, not silent expectations. You will also find that your creativity flourishes when you're not constantly entangled in everyone else's demands. Your mind, once cluttered with obligations, becomes fertile ground for new ideas, dreams, and visions. Your energy, once drained by endless availability, becomes a powerful force you can direct toward what truly matters to you. And perhaps most importantly, you will experience a profound inner peace, a peace that comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your own truth. You are no longer betraying yourself to be loved. You are loving yourself enough to be true. This is the real work of healing. This is the real work of becoming. It requires courage. It requires discomfort. It requires sitting with the guilt of saying no and realizing that you will survive it. It requires facing the fear that you might lose people and discovering that losing yourself is far worse. Jung taught us that what we do not bring to consciousness appears in our lives as fate. If you do not consciously reclaim your boundaries, life will force you to, often through pain, exhaustion, or crisis. But you don't have to wait for the breaking point. You can choose today to start honoring your limits. Start small. Pause before you say yes. Ask yourself, do I truly want to do this? Or am I acting out of fear, obligation, or guilt? Give yourself permission to prioritize your own needs. Remember that rest is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Solitude is not loneliness. It is sacred space for your soul to breathe. Silence is not emptiness. It is where you meet your truest self. And when you inevitably face resistance, because you will, stand firm. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you choose rest over relentless giving, you heal a piece of your wounded heart. Every time you choose to honor your own time, your own energy, your own dreams, you come home to yourself a little more. This is your life. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You are not a limitless well for everyone else's thirst. You are a sacred being, deserving of the same care, love, and attention you so freely offer others. Imagine waking up in a life where you no longer dread your calendar, where you no longer feel trapped by obligations, where your days are filled with meaningful connections, purposeful actions, and enough stillness to hear your own soul speak. That life is possible. It begins the moment you stop being available for everything and everyone that drains you. It begins the moment you choose yourself. Not once, not as an act of rebellion, but daily, as an act of devotion. You are not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. You are here to become yourself, fully and unapologetically. And when you do, everything changes. Thank you for choosing to honor your journey today. Thank you for having the courage to consider a different way of being. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone who might need the reminder, and to subscribe for more reflections like this. Until next time, stay true, stay grounded, and most importantly, stay faithful to yourself.